In the silent, unending vastness of space, something was drifting. Satellite radar sweeping the Earth's orbit picked up a blip, then another. On military screens, analysts saw a fast-moving metallic object, glinting as it caught the sun's rays. Alarms began to flash across control rooms. Analysts stared, their faces illuminated by the glow of the monitors, frantically cross-referencing databases. It wasn't a satellite. It wasn't a meteor. It wasn't in any known registry. No one could have possibly guessed that this mysterious object, this unidentified anomaly, once belonged in an astronaut's pocket. To understand how it got there, we have to go back a few months. Meet our astronaut, a decorated hero, not just in space exploration but also on the athletic field, a former Olympic champion. As he quietly packed for his mission, away from the official checklists and protocols, he slipped something personal into his gear. It was his gold medal, a symbol of a lifetime of dedication, a secret souvenir he wanted to take with him to the stars. He never declared it, of course. It was a memento, a piece of home to carry into the cold emptiness of space. Inside the spacecraft, floating in zero gravity, there was a light-hearted moment. He pulled it out, the gold disc spinning gently, and showed it to his fellow crew members. They smiled, sharing in his quiet pride. He then carefully tucked it into a small pocket on his spacesuit, a personal secret against the backdrop of a multi-billion-dollar mission. To him, it was just a sentimental keepsake, a harmless piece of metal. But in space, he would soon learn, nothing is ever truly harmless. The mission proceeded flawlessly. Days turned into weeks. Then came the day of a routine spacewalk, an extravehicular activity, or EVA. The astronaut was outside the craft, tethered securely, performing maintenance checks against the breathtaking curve of the Earth. As he maneuvered around a module, a slight, almost unnoticeable bump occurred. It was a minor jostle, the kind of thing that happens all the time in the clumsy dance of microgravity. But that tiny impact was enough. The gold medal, not as secure as he thought, slipped from his pocket. It spun slowly, catching the light, a brilliant golden speck against the infinite black. He saw it instantly. His heart leaped into his throat. He reached out, his gloved fingers grasping at empty space, but it was too late. The medal drifted away, tumbling gracefully out of reach. From that very moment, it was no longer a keepsake. It was no longer a symbol of victory. It became space debris. For weeks, the medal silently orbited the Earth, a forgotten trinket circling the planet at over 17,000 miles per hour. Then, back on the ground, the U.S. Space Force radar detected an unidentified object. The data was perplexing. It was small, but moving at an incredible velocity. Its trajectory was unusual, projected to pass dangerously close to a critical military satellite, one vital for communications and surveillance. Because of its small size and surprisingly strong radar reflection, the automated AI systems flagged it with high priority. The algorithms designed to identify threats classified it as a possible foreign reconnaissance device, or perhaps even a test warhead designed to disable American assets in orbit. In command centers across the country, the mood shifted from routine monitoring to high alert. Red lights began to flash. Generals were briefed, their faces grim as they reviewed the sparse, alarming data. No one knew what it was, but with its orbit menacing a strategic satellite, the Pentagon had no choice but to treat it as a potential, imminent threat. The world holds its breath when superpowers stare each other down. As the U.S. military ramped up its readiness, their movements did not go unnoticed. A rival superpower, monitoring global military activity, detected the sudden shift. Their analysts, lacking context, saw the increased satellite tracking and scrambled communications as something sinister. They interpreted it as preparation for a possible preemptive strike. Their own defense posture immediately escalated. Surveillance of American forces intensified. Fighter jets were scrambled to patrol their borders, and missile defense systems were powered up, ready to respond to an attack that wasn't coming. Tensions, already simmering, began to boil. The intricate dance of geopolitics was tipping toward chaos, and all the while, a single gold medal quietly continued its lonely orbit, completely unaware of the global panic it was causing down below. This is how close we can come to catastrophe. One unidentified signal, one misinterpretation, can set off a chain reaction. International tension wasn't rising because of a missile or an act of aggression, but because of a forgotten Olympic medal, drifting silently through space. Back in the Orbital Analysis Center, a team of dedicated experts was working around the clock, trying to make sense of the anomaly. They pushed past the initial threat assessment, digging deeper into the raw data. The object showed no signs of propulsion. It wasn't maneuvering. It emitted no signals. It was, for all intents and purposes, a dead piece of metal. This was inconsistent with a sophisticated weapon or spy satellite. Frustrated but determined, they decided to backtrack its orbit, tracing its path backward through time. They ran complex simulations, rewinding its journey week by week. And then they found it. A breakthrough. The object's projected historical orbit perfectly overlapped with the path of a U.S. space mission from a few months earlier. Specifically, it intersected with the exact time and location of the astronaut's EVA. The team rerouted a high-powered orbital telescope to get a visual. The image was grainy at first, but as the software sharpened the focus, zooming in on the tiny, tumbling object, a collective gasp filled the room. There, clear as day, was a small, round, golden disk, and on its surface, unmistakable even from hundreds of miles away, was the faint etching of the Olympic logo. When the truth finally came out, the entire control room froze in disbelief. A gold medal. The cause of an international near crisis, the object that had pushed two world powers to the brink, was an astronaut's lost memento. The crisis was averted. Tensions de-escalated. But a profound lesson was learned. In the unforgiving environment of space, there is absolutely no room for carelessness. As we gaze up at the stars, we must remember that orbit is not an empty void. It is an increasingly crowded environment, filled with satellites, active missions, and hundreds of thousands of pieces of debris. That single gold medal became a chilling, unforgettable reminder. Even a tiny, seemingly harmless object can have catastrophic consequences, capable of unleashing global panic. Everything we leave in orbit, from a rocket booster to a dropped wrench, from a fleck of paint to a forgotten souvenir, leaves a trace. It stays up there, a silent witness, a potential threat, a ticking time bomb circling our world. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as mind-blowing as we did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible stories from the final frontier. Stay curious,